What is up, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Market Marauder Show. Beat the market one trade at a time. If you're new to the Market Marauder Show, the investment channel helps you to find best deals in the market. If that's something you're interested in, make sure that thumbs up. Definitely helps the YouTube algorithm promote the videos. Alright, so today we're talking about how to become wealthy as a millennial. So I'm a millennial myself, 90s baby. Grew up watching Nickelodeon cartoons, Rugrats, and all sorts of stuff like that. The golden era, as I call it, where cartoons were actually great. Hashtag make cartoons great again. But we're all grown up now as millennials, now in the workforce, people starting families, things like that. And then you've seen this whole new culture of people with the birth of social media starting to get more and more popular. People going on Instagram flexing, saying, hey, I got a Lamborghini, or hey, here's my 30 streams of income at 24, or here's my 15 streams of income, when I'm 23 and I started this. And you're like, well, how did you start all that stuff? They're not going to college, so a lot of people are not going to college anymore. And you're like, well, how did they figure out how to do all these different things? How can I, start to grow my wealth? How can I, make sure my family's financial security is safe? So I'm going to be giving you some of the strategies that I think that I use personally to help grow my wealth. I don't have a million streams of income. I do have a couple of streams of income. One of them being YouTube. So make sure you hit that thumbs up. Helps the YouTube algorithm promote the videos. That will help one of my streams of income. So make sure you do that. In this video, I'll be going over some of the ideas and some of the things that I do to help build my wealth long term. And hopefully you can use some of those to help grow your wealth and grow your family's wealth. Alright, so let's get into some background information on this. So first, it says when it comes to earning power, the average millennial annual salary is $47,034. So that's under 50K. That's for a single person. It says found that more millennial households are in poverty than any other generation, and millennials accounted for the most of the nation's renters. So it says majority of millennials are out here renting houses, not really owning anything. So it says another survey by the Census Bureau in 2015, American Community Survey, or ACS, found that income stayed relatively flat between age 25 to 35, which could account for millennials struggling finances. So that means that they're not really building any money from age 25 to 35. They're just stagnant, which means, you'll make the same amount of money. You'll still make the same amount of money by age 35, which is not true for all millennials, in my personal opinion. There are a lot of millennials that make a lot more money than that. Me, myself, being a millennial, definitely make a lot more than that, but I consider myself an anomaly, and some of the people I know as anomalies. So this is just average based on statistics. So in fact, millennial starting salaries are approximately 20% less than what baby boomers made in that age in real terms. As far as net worth, average millennial is about $8,000. So about $8,000 in net worth, which I think this also plays to the psyche of a lot of people, and what a lot of these get-rich-quick schemes are definitely targeting this demographic of people. When you look at a lot of people who are kind of in my niche, the YouTube financial niche, you'll see that a lot of people will be like, oh, put $5 down, every week, and you can retire a millionaire by the age of 35. So they're assuming, or saying, by the end of this millennial phase, or this millennial age, between 25 to 35, that you'll be a millionaire if you just put small amounts of money down, which, I don't think is true. It definitely takes a lot of hard work to build your wealth, as far as, doing it as a millennial or doing it in general. A lot of people, come from households where, you maybe have a parent. Majority of people's parents are not like rich or very wealthy. Majority of people's parents, work average jobs. They may still have this same income that you have. So you may be making the same amount of money as your parents, or if not, just a little bit more than your parents, which is the average of most people. So you got to think that into consideration, which I think goes into the psyche of a lot of people. You got to think that you are doing good out there. If you're employed in today's economy, you are doing well, in my personal opinion. Because there are a lot of people out there who are not able to find jobs or finding it difficult to just sustain their life. So to me, I think just getting out of the gate, I think to me you're doing good if you are able to pay all your bills, and at the end of it you may have $0, but all your bills are paid. You're able to eat. You're able to make it to work. To me, you are successful. If all your bills are paid, you can afford all your bills. You got gas, you got transportation, whether that's taking Uber, whether that's a bus or anything. You're able to sustain your life. You've got a roof over your head. To me, that is successful because a lot of people are struggling way worse than you are. And then next on here, which I think is like the number one factor, is that millennials have 300% more student loan debt than their parents did. So student loan debt is definitely taking a toll on a lot of people. So a lot of people are just brushing it off. They're like, I'm not going to pay it off. I'll put it to the side. It's not really a big deal, especially during the time during the pandemic. During the pandemic, there were a lot of people who were like, I'm not going to pay off my student loans. They're not charging me for it because we're in the pandemic, so I have no interest occurring. But to me, that was the best time to pay it off. So I did that. I paid it off during that time because there's no interest payments. It's all going to principal. So that's a great way to build your wealth. There is to get rid of your biggest debt, which is usually student loans for a lot of people. So on here we can see some more stuff about the charts. So full-time employees, age 200 to 2000 to 2019. We can see this is different on here. So that's a chart just basically explaining what happened in the top end. So going on to here, we want to go to another article. And this is basically talking about student loan debt. So student loan debt, out of shadow of a doubt, is the largest debt that I feel like a lot of people have. So on average, between this is according to the academic year from 2020 to 2021, for a person in 4 year in-state, it's usually around $26,820,000. For 4 year out of state, it's usually $43,280,000. $280. For private nonprofit, 4 year, it's usually $54,880. So you got to think people are graduating, going into the workforce already in the negative. So you're already down like $54,000 that you got to pay off, and you may be getting a job. Let's say your average salary is 47,000. That means if you don't spend any money your first year of work, you will not be able to pay off your student loans. And so that's where the main problem is, that I think getting that partial debt out of the way, getting that large hurdle out of the way is the student loan debt. And I think that can definitely open up a lot of doors for you, because the capital you have coming in will go directly towards moving forward with starting a business or things like that, buying a car, saving up, helping out with your kids if you have kids, putting some money aside for them, things of that nature will definitely help open a lot of doors by eliminating this. So if you went to a 4 year in-state in-state school, you may have $26,820, but when you first get your job, you're like, okay, I got a job. I'm fresh out of school. I can live the life I want. I can, go out to eat. My lifestyle is different. I know me in college, there were times where I ate only like once a day. Only had enough money for like a $5, pizza. So that was kind of all I ate. All the rest of my money went to bills. So definitely was not the lavish college life that some people had, but definitely was well worth it in my personal opinion. Worked two jobs. Had a crazy schedule. Worked 7 days a week for like 4 years. no, for like 3 years, worked 7 days a week for like 3 years. So was pretty crazy, but made it through. And definitely was seeing this crazy value afterwards. So I've definitely been there in that position as a lot of people, so I can understand the things that help me out, the things that I'm going to be talking about in this video as well. So here goes some recommendations. I believe, in my personal opinion, the number one way that's going to help you, get out of this hole is going to be budgeting. Budgeting is the greatest thing that you can do. It helps you tremendously, whether you're going to be, you know, starting to pay off all your debts, or whether you just want to see where all your money's going. It may be the old corny way, or people are like, oh, this is like, stuff Dave Ramsey talks about. This is all, corny information. It is corny. It is, lame to a lot of people, but it definitely helps you moving forward to see where your money is going. So it also, helps if you're going to be starting your own business, and it'll help if, let's say you inherited a bunch of money. You would want to know where that money goes. So it's kind of like a weird disconnect. People think that, like, oh, if I win the lottery or if I inherit a bunch of money, I'm gonna, be rich. You're realistically not gonna know what to do with it because you don't know how to make a budget. So once you learn how to make a budget, then you can be like, okay, this is going here, this is going here, this is what I'm gonna do. So I think budgeting is kind of the ground basis for all of it. And here's some different budget methods. You have zero basis budget, 50, 30, 20 budget, envelope budget, priority based budget, and pay yourself first budget. So I'm briefly going to go over these. Zero based budget on here. It says with a zero-based budget, every dollar is assigned to a budget category, such as transportation or retirement savings. So you're basically, it says this method forces you to spend time each month creating a detailed plan for spending, saving, uh, in the coming month, which naturally prepares your budget for increased spending and occurs around events such as holidays, weddings, season, and back to school. So this is what I do. This is the preferred budget method that I have. I have a spreadsheet that I use, or I'll just write it down on paper, either or. But I don't do it every month. I do it every 2 weeks. So I get paid every 2 weeks, and I do a budget every time I get paid. From all my different sources of revenue, job, whether it's job, YouTube, or whatever finances that I'm getting. I'll put that money into a budget. It has a place. Every dollar goes to a different place. It has a purpose, whether that's investing, whether that's saving, whether that's going to cars, whether that's going to a vacation I want to go on, or I want to go on with my wife. Something like that. All that money goes to a place. So that's my preferred budget method. I like to see where everything goes, what it's doing, and it changes. So don't think that once you make a budget, it's stagnant, because that will drive you crazy. So when I was paying off my student loans, I was like, this is the fixed amount that I have to pay off. Well, some things happened, and I had an older car. I needed to get that fixed quite a bit. So I was like, I have to dedicate more money to this. I'm not paying any money on student loans. Well, I was paying like double the amount that was necessary for my student loans. So in reality, I was budgeting that money, and I was like, well, I'm going to take it this month and I'm going to put it into the car. Well, that was a fluctuation that I had to do, but I had to remember this is how much that I started off with paying off. And so the budget does change. That's why I do every 2 weeks and not every month, because every month I feel like, some things may happen in the middle of the month, or some things may happen, sooner than the 1 month time frame. Next is the 50-30-20 budget. So the 50-30-20 budget is based on personal finance rules of thumb. The idea is that you allocate 50% of your income to essentials like housing, billing, food, 30% to personal expenses like eating, traveling, personal care items, 20% into savings. So this is a nice budget way if this one fits you. I personally just don't use it because it's a fixed percentage. So for me, living 50%, 30% and 20%. I really don't like having those fixed percentages just because my budget fluctuates quite a bit just on different things that are going on in my life. So that's another one out there, which could help a lot of people. Next, there's the envelope budget, which is the envelope budget is a tried and true cash based budgeting system that helps many people. So basically, you take the money that you have for the different expenses and you put it into cash. This one may have hiccups because a lot of billing and stuff is online, so having it in cash could really be to a disadvantage. I know paying rent to a lot of places, they really don't accept cash. It's usually like they'll have an automated thing where you can do it, just link your card, or they'll do where you can write a check. But really doing cash isn't really advantageous. But you can do cash for like groceries. People still accept cash for that. It just helps you stay cognizant of what you're spending and where it's going. So I use this system sometime as well in combination with the zero budget one. So you can combine these together, so you don't have to use just one. You can use different pieces of one. The whole goal is just to get you budgeting to help achieve your financial goals. The next one is value-based budgeting. Value-based budgeting prioritizes you over the numbers in your budget. It recognizes that regardless of your income, you still are a person who works hard and deserves some of your money. So with this method, you can make a list of values from most important, such as food, shelter, and least to least important. Next, you calculate your monthly cost of each value, and then figure out how far down the list you can stretch your income. If you can't afford all your values, then you either need to reprioritize or reduce the expenses associated to each value. So kind of doing a least to greatest or greatest to least of importance and then budgeting around that. And then lastly on here is the pay yourself budget. The pay yourself budget is the simplest of all budgeting methods list. With the method, you decide how much you allocate to your savings goals, and all of your remaining money is free to spend however you choose. So this one I would say is the most loose one, but it also is the one that takes the most discipline, because I think when people say pay yourself first, they're like, oh, I got paid. All right, I'm gonna buy, a PS5, and you only make like 1,000 every 2 weeks. You buy the PS5, and you're like, oh, I gotta get some games and stuff, and then it becomes like, okay, you blew that first check, and you're like, okay, well, I'll get paid the next 2 weeks. I'm gonna use that one to, you know, recover the damage that I did with the other one. So it's not really pay yourself first, as in buy what you want with one check, and then scramble to try to use the other check to pay all your bills. Pay yourself first is, you know, this method, the way that this is talking. But anyway, budgeting, I think, is the number one step that you can do to help, get out of debt and to grow your wealth. Next, we're going to talk about investing. So just briefly on here, I have the link to Webull. If you want to sign up for Webull and get 2 free stocks when you deposit $100 or more, I've linked down below where you can do so. Webull is one method to invest. You can get ETFs, you can get an IRA on here. You can do stocks, just regular stocks, options, ETFs. They also have a little bit of crypto on here as well if you want to get into crypto. So some of the places that you can invest are Webull. There's Robinhood, which is another one. M1, which is another one that's better for long-term investing in general. So M1, I would say, is long-term. Webull is kind of like day trade, intraday trading in crypto, and then Robinhood, I would say, is kind of the same as Webull, just a different platform. They are commission free. You don't have to pay per trades. So just bear that in mind on there. There's no entry to pay for trades. It's all free. There are a lot of great avenues to teach you how to start investing and what stocks to buy. One being this channel, if you're interested in that. Crypto is another way. So there's Coinbase, as well as BlockFi. Those are the two that I use that I think are the best places to get crypto besides just Webull. But I think Coinbase is one of the number one ones out there that I recommend everyone use, and then BlockFi if you're looking into long-term crypto investing. So definitely investing is a great way to help. Um, increase your income overall. But I think, another way and the third way that you can is to start your own business. So a side business, whether you want to do YouTube, whether you do want to do, you make great teas, homemade teas or something that you want to sell. Starting a business, I think, will give you dividends way more than just doing something else. So first, here's some business ideas. So first on here is consulting, which is just you use your expertise to help somebody grow their business or help them in marketing or something like that. Consulting, you kind of make your own fees, your own hours, so it's something that's flexible that anybody could really do. Online reseller. So a lot of people do this. You may hear like the hype beast culture. People will go to the release of these different shoes that are come out or different rare items in the hype beast culture. They'll make a website and they'll resell them for like double. You can go on places like StockX and sell stuff like that, high end fashion items, or you can start your own little business where you resell stuff. I know Gary Vee became popular for stuff like this, talking about going to yard sales and reselling stuff. Kind of the pioneer of reselling. You can still sell it on eBay. There's Etsy, which a lot of people resell stuff on as well. So online reselling is definitely a great place to start, where you can start with just little money, especially if you're going to yard sales and you know what you're looking for. It's a great place to do that. Next is online teaching. So you can make a course where you teach people how to do a certain skill or task. They're pretty easy to set up. If you have just a basic webcam, or you can even use your phone, record some videos, put it onto a website like Teachable, and then start a course, make a course, and sell the course, and make some nice side income. Next is online bookkeeping, which is basically you are an accountant or bookkeeper for some different company. You basically keep the financial records. This is definitely a great way to make money as well. Next on here, medical courier service. This is definitely an interesting one. It's kind of outside of the box, where people can go and deliver medicines to different people, kind of like DoorDash or Instacart, but this is for like medical supplies. So people who need things all the time, so like diabetic patients, or people like that who need like insulin or meters, or people who have high blood pressure and things like that, who get constant medical supplies to them. You can help deliver the service to them. So definitely very interesting overall. Very interesting market to jump into, which is not really talked about a lot. Next is the app developer, which you are going to need some time to learn coding in order to do this, but it can definitely be very beneficial to you overall if you're willing to learn those skills to do that. Next is transcription service. So if you know a different language and you want to transcribe something from, let's say, Spanish to English, you can do that. Or if you just want to listen to something and type it out, I know a lot of YouTubers pay for people to put captions on their videos, but someone's actually physically typing that out. They're listening to it and typing it out. There are a lot of websites that do that for, you can sign up and start making money today, basically. So just, I would say, Google transcription services. Professional organizer. I have not, seen a place that hires a professional organizer, but I think that's a thing. So I would say, look for those. I think it's a very interesting job. I really know people pay people to organize stuff, but yeah, maybe you could start your own little small company where you organize people's stuff for them. Cleaning service. I think that is going to be, you know, a good market to go into now, especially with the pandemic and stuff going on. And you got to understand, it's not just people's houses. So you can do businesses as well. A lot of businesses probably got cleaning services now more than ever, especially to make sure, people are safe and healthy at their, establishments with the pandemic and stuff going on. So this could definitely be a very lucrative business to get into with very little startup. Cleaning supplies are cheap. You can go to Dollar Tree and get cleaning supplies that clean the exact same as Walmart cleaning supplies. So, I mean, you just need a business plan and find some customers to do it, and then there you go. Next is freelance copywriter. You can go and copyright different things. So freelance copywriter is a great business to run because as long as you have an internet connection, you can work. It's a business that you could operate from the comfort of your home or even from the road or travel. You'd establish a large enough network, gain referrals from satisfied clients, and you can even make a freelance full-time job doing this. So definitely very interesting freelance copywriter. Next on here we have home care services, so people who take care of the elderly or people who just need assistance in general with healthcare. I know people make quite a bit of money doing this. Just one thing is that it is timely, so you will have to take a large portion of your time to do this. But if you start your own company doing this, you can hire other people to do it, and then you just collect the money from doing it and manage the different clients that you have. But definitely very lucrative business that pays quite a bit. Um, Translation services. So if you know another language, you can go and uh, do the translation for that. So English to Spanish or whatever language you know, translation is definitely still a business model out there. Digital marketing, which I definitely think is very needed out here. So companies will pay to have um, people who are good at marketing. If you know how to build an IG page, if you have a large following on TikTok, you could use that to your advantage and be a digital marketer to help, promote people's products. People definitely pay for that if you have the influence to do so. Next is a food truck. This can take a lot of money and time as well, but if you find the right area, find the right customers, it can make a very lucrative business for you. Lawn care service. This is one that's out there a lot. There are a lot of people who do that in lawn care services. I think startup is fairly cheap. I think finding the customers is going to be the main part, and finding people to work it because it is a very demanding job. And it's also seasonal as well. So during the winter months, people aren't really paying that much to do lawn care services unless it's we live in an area where people are paying to get snow and stuff removed, and that's tied into your lawn care service. But you're going to be basically beneficial during the summer months or where it's hotter. So definitely something you can make a lot of money in. It's just going to take a little bit of effort getting that off the ground. Rideshare service, so like just Uber or Lyft, definitely you can make a lot of money doing that. Um, Real estate agent, you will need to take the real estate agent class in order to do that, but you definitely can make a lot of money, especially now with housing prices going crazy. You could definitely make a lot of money being a real estate agent. Graphic designer, this takes fairly little effort to make logos. There are free sites like Canva where you can make a pretty good design. There are other sites out there where you can make designs and build up your customer base. People are buying logos all the time, so definitely a great industry to get into. T-shirt printing business. This is very competitive, but if you do have a good network and good marketing, it is something you can get into. Drop shipping, I feel like it's kind of phased out a little bit, but there's still people on YouTube who are like, "Oh, I made $10 million doing drop shipping." Sort of, kind of be leery of those people who make large amounts of money. Some of those are kind of like scammy, but I think if you could find a person that could help you do it and set it up the right way, you definitely can make a lot of money doing so. And then lastly, pet sitting. Pet sitting, I think people do this as well, and you can be very lucrative at pet sitting, especially if you have multiple clients. You could even start a whole pet daycare. People come and check in their pets. That'll be something you could do as well. You just really need facility, cleaning supplies, and stuff like that. So make sure you drop a comment down below. Do you think these strategies can help you build your wealth? While you're down there, make sure that you explain your strategy to build your wealth and get out of debt. Good luck to everybody out there on their financial journey to build wealth. Um, Hope these help everybody moving forward. If you like the video, make sure that thumbs up. Definitely helps the YouTube algorithm promote the videos. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.